good friends. So we're gonna do the brain today, and like I said, there's three things for the brain: the external structures, okay, which we'll be able to see more clearly when we remove the dura mater. Then we get the cranial nerves, okay, which we can see some of them right there, happen to be on the one side, but we've still got a good amount of them. So then we'll do that sort of off the bat, right off the bat. Cranial nerve number one, olfactory. This is where the olfactory bulbs are. You see, these are the olfactory bulbs right there. Okay, right in the frontal cortex. Okay, olfactory, cranial nerve number one. So in the exam, you do the name and the Roman numeral notation, okay, to get full points. And then this one right here, you can see, is the optic. You see cranial nerve number two. You can see the chiasm right here, and then the other end got cut off. Okay, some of you have got good ones. All the ones I said you got good ones, we'll use those for the exam. Okay, that's what we'll do. So this is optic number two. Okay, and then this one right here, you see the stump facing forward. You see right here. This is oculomotor number three. It controls the muscles of the eye that move the eyeball. Okay, and then this one is the trigeminal number five. And the trigeminal has got those three branches, the mandibular gland, and then it's got it's a very big nerve. Usually it stays there. And kind of sort of here, you see right here, you have the vestibulocochlear, the one we're doing today. So usually you have a little stump here. This is the general location for it, and I would think this is the remnants of what would have been the vestibulocochlear number seven. But this is not usually one of the ones that are all there. And then of course this is you can see how the spinal cord starts right here. The brain tapers into the spinal cord. So anywhere above the part that's tapered off to the spinal cord is the medulla oblongata. So usually if I stick a pin over there, even though you don't really see anything, because I know, like I said, this get cut off, these cranial nerves. This will be the cranial nerve number 12, vestibulocochlear, the very last one on the medulla oblongata before we get to the spinal cord. So usually, I usually put a pin here, even though you can't really see nothing. Maybe you can see some remnants here a little bit, but you may have a better deal on your brain. Okay, know that this very last one right on the medulla oblongata is the vestibulocochlear, the hypoglossal number 12. Okay, and that's it. So you can bet these ones I just mentioned will be the ones coming in the exam. Okay, because that's what we have. So that's what I can take. So the first order of business is to remove the dura mater. Okay, and we cut around like that, and we leave the dura mater here. As you can see, if we remove it here, we're gonna remove all our cranial nerves, and that would really suck. It's not good. Okay, so we start right here at the olfactory bulbs, and we already get an opening, so we use that, and then we do this deal here, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Well, this one is kind of sort of already cut over here. You can see how, but in any case, I'm still gonna do like I said you should, so that I can leave some of it there, and then I just sort of cut around here. Normally, it shouldn't be like that. This should be attached, so this remains. So I'm cutting at a place. I know this might fall off, but when yours, it will probably remain attached. Okay, because it will be attached. I don't know the situation on your particular brain, but I'm just doing it for illustration purposes. I'm cutting where you will be cutting. Understand? And then here, this is where we have the tentorium cerebelli, which is that the duroceptor, those folds that we talked about, that go in and cradle parts of the brain. So this is very tough. Okay, it's almost like metal. Okay, so when you cut it, you snip it at the base like that, and then you snip it on the side, and then and then you kind of sort of peel it off. Okay, my excellent friends. Do you see how hard it is? Well, do you feel it? When you cut yours, you will feel it. I promise. So I go to the other side. Excuse me. I could start here too. I start right here at my olfactory bulb, and then I just do the deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. Okay, am I in the camera? If I start veering away, you tell me to go back in line, okay? Because I forget. I sort of use my sharp end, then I go in like that and try to cut that. You see, that's very tough. And I could maybe do this on this side like that. You know, this is as tough as nails. So I'm gonna do this deal. See, I'm not exaggerating. This is hard. Oh, really? Seriously? This never happened to me before. Man, you're gonna give me this. Yeah, that's something. That's amazing. It's like bone. I told you. I told you it's hard. Sound effects with it too. You know what I'm saying? So I meant it when I said it's hard. There you go. Excuse me. So here, I know these things always make my nose run, so I apologize. I'm just using my sharp edge because there's no space. You peel it off like a banana or something, or your favorite fruit. Yeah, bananas are pretty my favorite fruit, so you know, you're gonna eat bananas and you drop. Isn't that nice when you peel it off like that? You know, you just, oh my God, isn't that nice? So this is like it really cradles that, you know, cerebrum and the cerebellum. Do you see how hard it is? There's the tentorium cerebelli, there's the falx cerebri, which goes into the longitudinal fissure. Remember, we did this already. Like I say, it's not new. This is the dura mater. This is the outermost of the meninges. Okay. Remember the dura mater, arachnoid mater, then the pia mater, right in the innermost. Okay. So dura mater is really the one you were able to see because it's the thickest. The other ones are kind of sort of remain attached to it, and the other one was the one I was peeling off of the brain with the extensions of the pia mater. Okay. All right. So there we go. We are done with that. This the other external structures. My little probe. Okay. So this is the longitudinal fissure or the cerebral fissure. Okay. These bumps, we call them the gyrus or gyri, plural. The lines are the sulcus, sulci, plural. Okay, sulcus. Okay, we know about that already, so it's nothing new here. Okay, and then if I put a pin anywhere in this area and I'm talking about what's that lobe of the brain, you say frontal. You see, you know that already, didn't I tell you? If I put a pin on this and I'm talking about what's that lobe of the brain, parietal. Okay, my excellent friend. If I put a pin and I'm talking about what lobe of the brain is that, occipital. Yes. If I put a pin over here, I'm talking about what lobe of the brain that is, temporal. So you see what I'm saying? I will be descriptive about what I'm asking, because if I put a pin here, it could be a gyrus, okay, or it could be temporal lobe. So I'll say, what is that bump? Then you say gyrus. Or if I say, what is that lobe? Then you say temporal. You see what I'm saying, my good friends? Okay, excellent. Okay, now we go to this deal here. This is the cerebellum. Yes, cerebellum. Thank you. And then this is the vermis. It looks like a worm. Don't you see? It looks like a grubby worm. You know, one of those grubby worms with a lot of protein in it. You eat those. There's a delicacy where I come from. You eat those. They've got lots of protein. You know? Yeah. Survivor. If you watch Survivor and all those, they eat those things. Lots of protein. Yeah, you cook them, you fry them, you know, like you do, like peanuts, like fried peanuts. You put salt in it. It's all good, man. I tell you, it's really good. You should try it. So it's called vermis because it looks like a worm. So the vermis is the part of the cerebellum that connects the cerebellar hemispheres. Just like the corpus callosum connects the cerebral hemispheres up front. But the corpus callosum, we have to cut it to see that. Okay? That's the cerebellar hemisphere, Okay? And then, of course, the medulla ends right there, and then it tapers into the spinal cord. Okay? So those are the structures. And then now what I'm going to do, my excellent friend, I forgot to get a labeled plastic. So do you see my deal, my friends? My friends. My dearest friend also. And I was like, okay, let me dial it back a little. So what we do, we're gonna have to loop the knife first. Well, if I can open it, you guys will have better. Oh, you work on your own, by the way. Well, you share this knife. There's some other knives. Loop it up real good on the one side. And loop it up real good on the other side. Is it coming? Picture. Ooh, it's all looped up. Then I kind of throw it in here like that, you know, right in the crack right there, so that it stays in there, and then it cuts down like that. You gotta hold it still. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to pour the whole bottle on it. That's why it's going like that. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Oh crap! I got relatively nice little drops. Wait, make sure you hold it straight so that it cuts down, okay, like that, and then you put your knife below, like that. Excuse me. Okay, like that. So you're gonna have to put your knife forward like that, and then you're gonna have to. Tried. The aim is to please. Okay, yeah. So you try to. I'm itching and I can't use any of these things to squeeze. It always happens like that, you know. Oh, that one was a bad itch, man, and it wouldn't go. I tried to. It wouldn't, man. It refused. Okay, so now what I'm gonna have to do, eventually I'll cut the whole thing off like that. Okay, and then I could sort of use my scissors. You know, remember because we left part of the jura mater down there, you know, so we can finish it off like that. Okay, I'm being ginger with mine because I don't want this thing to fall off. Okay. Mine is kind of really badly done up. It's falling apart. So you guys with yours. Anyway, for now, let me show you the internal parts. Okay, so this white sort of tissue right here is the corpus callosum, right here, which is the same on that side. Okay, and then this on the bottom is the fornix. Okay, now this circular part here is the thalamus. Okay, you see this? You'll be able to see it. Oh, I almost cut twice. See, I did a bad thing. Yeah, I went twice and I went right. That's okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so the only thing is to go one motion like that. I got messed up. So that's the thalamus right there. That's the thalamus. Okay, you see this little dot right here? Do you see it? That is the anterior commissure. It's those commissural fibers that I said is the minor part that connects the left and right cerebral hemispheres. The major structure that connects, the one I said is got 300 million axons crossing from one side of the brain to the next, is the corpus callosum right here. And they're all myelinated axons, that's why they're white. You see what I'm saying? You can see the top part is kind of gray, because that's where the cell bodies are located. And there's a white matter in the middle. So this is the corpus callosum, and there's the fornix. There's a little hole there where the fornix is right there. I mean, sorry, the anterior commissure. Okay? And over here, so there's a little line here. On mine, it's kind of not so showing nicely, which is the posterior commissure. Okay? Because it's on the posterior side, and it joins the left and right side. So this is my pineal body that got cut off. So make sure when you cut it, so I gotta put mine back right here, boom, like that. Yay, it worked. So there's the pineal body, the pineal gland, okay? And the line that goes down there is the posterior commissure, okay? And this is the corpora quadragemina. Remember, the corpora quadragemina is made up of two superior colliculi on the top and two inferior colliculi on the bottom. Remember, we were just talking about the inferior colliculi as part of the hearing, and then the superior colliculi is part of the hearing, sight reflex, visual reflexes, and then the corpora quadragemina, those four things, is part of the midbrain. Okay, and then this is the anterior colliculus on the top. This is anterior colliculus. This is made up of those things. There's four bodies. Corpora means body, quadrigemina means four. So two superior colliculi and two inferior colliculi make the corpora quadrigemina. If I put a pin anywhere here, you just say corpora quadrigemina. Okay? You see this smooth area here? This is the cerebral aqueduct, which joins the third ventricle right here to the fourth ventricle right there. Okay? So this kind of comes here, third ventricle, and then cerebral aqueduct, and then fourth ventricle. So anyway, I'm also at the same time identifying the ventricles. Fourth ventricle, cerebral aqueduct, third ventricle. Okay, and then this is the lateral ventricle, and there is the choroid plexus. You see the choroid plexus? Remember those blood vessels that are covered by ependymal cells that create cerebrospinal fluid? Okay, so that's the choroid plexus. And the lateral ventricles, okay, the lateral ventricles are 1 and 2, but we just call them lateral ventricles. Okay, they're separated by, it's called the septum pellucidum, which is this. That is a very thin layer. You can never cut it in the middle, no matter how much you try. Okay, because it's just too thin. When you cut it, it always goes to one side, and in this case, it went to this side. You see, you can't see here; it's open, and you can see the lateral ventricle. Here, it's not. So here, if I put a pin here, and I'm talking about what is that structure that separates the lateral, well, that separates the chambers of the brain, I won't say lateral because then I'll be giving you the answer to one of the questions. Okay. And then you say septum pellucidum. But if I put a pin over here and I say what's that chamber of the brain, I'll be specific about what I'm asking. Remember? So I cannot try to describe it for you. Then you'd say lateral ventricle. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Yes. We said this is the thalamus right here. So this is the hypothalamus, and then the pituitary gland is kind of down there. Okay, and the diaphragm assembly separates them out like that. Okay. So, and then of course you can see the arbovitae arrangement in the cerebellum right here. Okay. So this is the pons. There's the midbrain part of the midbrain, and this is the cerebral